class today. So remember, as always, just make sure you stay safe. Any injuries at all, any vulnerabilities in any parts of your bodies, make sure that you look after them. Don't do anything you feel you shouldn't or shouldn't be doing, and rest anytime you need to. As always, I'll give you different levels of nearly all of the exercises, so you can stick to basic level all the way through if you need to, if you're fairly new, or if you feel that that's enough for you. And otherwise we can get going. So all you need is yourselves and your Pilates mat. I'm just going to stand behind my mat for warm up, so just so that I've got a little bit more stability with my feet flat on the floor. But stand on your mat or on the flat floor, wherever you feel you must stay stable underneath your feet. And we're going to set ourselves up standing in our neutral Pilates standing position. So your heels need to be underneath the bony parts of your hips. Just look down, check your feet are facing forwards, and then look up. Lift your toes off the floor, just giving them a little bit of a wiggle, then spread them wide and then press them down onto the floor. Just find a little bit of softness in your knees and your thighs. Try not to hike your kneecaps up towards your hips. So just a little bit of softness there. Lengthen your spine, so you're just lifting the top of your head up towards the ceiling. The chest widens and opens, and soften your ribs down towards your hips. Arms down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears. Find your neutral pelvis position. So you might just want to tuck your tailbone under, tip it up towards the ceiling, and then just settle in that neutral position in between that tip and your tilt. Try and maintain the position of your pelvis there while you're standing tall, and then make your connection to your core. So just making sure you're engaged, you're drawing the abdominals in, or you're lifting up your pelvic floor to get that stability and to keep your back nice and safe. So just reach your fingertips towards the floor and very gently just rock forwards and backwards onto your heels and then onto your toes. Just a gentle lift of the toes so you go onto your heels, and a gentle lift of the heels as you go onto the balls of your feet, just making that movement a little bit bigger each time. So just maybe rising right up onto the balls of your feet eventually. If you can, slowly bringing the heels down and then lift the toes again. Let's breathe in as we float up, top of the head towards the ceiling, and breathe out as the heels come down and the toes lift. So just try to keep really stable balance. Try not to lean forwards or backwards. Use your abdominals to stabilize. Lift the toes again, just stretching them out gently, pressing into the balls of the feet, coming nice and tall, and then lower your heels down onto the floor. Breathe in, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, bring your arms down by your side. So remember your lateral breathing. We're breathing wide and deep into the sides and the back of the rib cage, so you can keep your abdominals drawing in. Let's lift the arms up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. As you breathe out, just bend your elbows and draw your elbows into your sideways. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Let's reach the arms up towards the ceiling again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, circle your arms wide to the side and down. Breathing in, arms float up. Breathing out, bend your elbows, tucking them right into your inner sideways. Draw the shoulder blades in and down. And then breathing in, we're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling and circle them wide to the side. Can we do this with our heels off the floor? Give it a go. Breathing in, rising up, heels off the floor. As you breathe out, keep your heels lifted. Draw your elbows into your sideways. Breathing out, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and just slowly float your arms all the way down by your sides, and then lower your heels. So a little bit of a challenge for your balance there. Let's go again. Breathing, keep your heels down if you need to, otherwise arms in line with your ears, and then breathing out, bending your elbows, tuck them right in, shoulder blades back and down, and then reach your arms up. Your heels are still off the floor, aren't they? Circle your arms wide to the side and down and lower your heels. Let's just do that one more last time. Get better and better each time you do it. Lift the arms up, pull the elbows in and down, tucking them right into your sideways. So reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and circle your arms wide to the sides and down. Just roll your shoulders there. So if you're not at the end of the mat already, go to the end of your mat, stand by the side of the mat so you've got length in front of you. And just, if you walked, if you moved anyway, just remember to reset your posture here. So heels back underneath hips, standing nice and tall. So we're going to do a little sequence now. So breathe in. As you breathe out, go into a squat. Sit back and down, just reach your arms forward, just hinging at the hips and bending your knees. Breathing in, press into your heels, stand nice and tall. As you breathe out, we're going to float the arms up to the ceiling and lift the heels. As you breathe in, we're going to circle the arms wide to the side and down and lower your heels. As you breathe out, we're slowly going to come down into our forward flexion now. So you don't need to come all the way down. You can put your hands on your thighs or behind your thighs if you need support. You can bend your knees a lot if you need to. Coming nice and deep if you can, but don't worry if you can't come all the way down. Pull the abdominals in. Let's slowly restack our spines as we come all the way up to standing. Nice and tall at the top. Let's exhale, sit back and down. Push into heels, lighten your toes. Come out of your squat. Float your arms, lift your heels. And then from there, keep the heels off the floor. So if your arms are wide to the side and down, roll down through your spine. We're going to stay down in this forward fold. It doesn't matter if your arms aren't all the way to the floor, going as far down towards the floor as you can. Strong in your abdominals. Take a little bend in your right knee and sweep your left arm up towards the ceiling. Follow the arm with your eyes, open your shoulder and your chest. And then slowly straighten your right leg and put your left hand back down on the floor, a little bend in the left knee, float your right arm up towards the ceiling, follow the arm with the eyes. So you're stacking your right shoulder over your left as best as you can. Slowly allow that arm to fall back down towards the floor. Breathe in as you breathe out. Let's slowly roll all the way up to standing. Standing nice and tall at the top. Let's sit back and down in your squat. So push into your heels to stand nice and tall and lengthen your neck and your spine. Let's lift the arms, lift the heels coming into your balance again. Keep the heels off the floor. So if your arms wide to the side and down. And lower your heels, exhaling, let's slowly roll down again. This is just a nice little chest open, a little bit of work into your side waist. Bending into your right knee just a little bit, and then floating your left arm up towards the ceiling again. Stack your left shoulder over your right, look up, and then straighten your right knee. Put your left arm down by your foot, and then soften into your left knee. Float your right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring it slowly down as you straighten your left leg, and we should be exhaling now to come all the way up to standing. Breathe in, float your arms up towards the sitting heels, stay on the floor, look up, watch your back steer as long as you've got no back injuries. Take a little back bend, open your arms, lifting the chest, just a very slight lean back, extension into your spine. Arms up overhead, drop your shoulder blades down into your back pockets, and lower your arms all the way down by your sides. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to come down onto our mats now. So on your next exhale, arms down, let's roll all the way down to stay down. So really articulate your spine as best as you can, coming into your forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. Now you can relax your neck, so just give your head a little shake and then a little nod, gently. Relax your arms, your shoulders and your chest. Then bend your knees a little bit more. We're going to walk out onto the mat. Coming into our tabletop position, my mat's all over the place. Coming into your tabletop position, nice and square here, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, draw the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to work in thread the knee, so a little bit of work into your sideways, a little bit of a rotation in your spine, working through your shoulders as well. So when you're ready, let's start with the left arm. As you breathe in, just float your left arm up towards the ceiling, just like we did just now when we were folded over in that forward fold. And then as you breathe out, bend your right elbow. We're going to thread the left arm underneath you, reach your fingertips towards the bottom of the wall in front of you. And then breathing in, press into your right hand as you straighten your right arm and pull the arm back through. And breathing in, we're going to lift the arm up towards the ceiling again. Breathing out, bend your right elbow, thread the arm through. So you're threading underneath your rib cage, reaching. And then we're pulling the arm back through as you straighten your right arm and lift the arm up again. And we're going to go again. Keep your hips square, you're flexing your hips as you lower down towards the floor, but try not to pull the hip through with you. Let's go again, breathe in, fill your lungs up with air as you reach your arm up towards the ceiling, slowly breathing it all out. See if you can go a little bit deeper into that twist if you can. One last time, lift up, open the arm, open the shoulder, open the chest. Let's thread under again, reaching through. And then straighten your right arm and put your left hand on the floor underneath your shoulder. Take your right hand off the floor, just circle your wrists and put your hand back down just to release any tension in your wrist joint. Let's do the right arm. Breathing in, we're going to float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Stack your shoulders, look up. And breathing out, diving under, threading the arm through, reaching through your fingertips, bending into your left elbow. And then off you go again, breathing in, straighten your left arm, reach up, stack your shoulders. Breathing out, let's dive under again, reaching through. Going nice and slowly, work with your breath. Don't forget to breathe into your upper body. Keep the abdominals drawing in. So nice smooth movements, just trying to make them flow. And keep going. Just got one more to do. Hopefully we'll have done the same amount of repetitions each time. Last time, let's thread through. Let's go a little bit deeper if you can, but don't pull your hips through with you. And then from there, just put your hands on the mat. Maybe just come into a kneeling position there, just so you can roll your shoulders, just release off any tension. And then circle your wrists. Few wrist circles one way, then the other way. So from there, we're going to work the back of the body now. So come all the way down onto your fronts. Come down nice and safely, arms on the floor. Just walk your knees back. Come all the way down. So we're going to work in the dart today, which means our arms are behind us on the mat by the side of our hips. If it becomes too challenging at any time, all you need to do is stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands, and you can still lift and lower the upper body away from the floor with your hands stacked. So that would just give you a little bit more stability. If you feel you're okay, let's just lie all the way down, sweep your arms behind you so your arms are long, your palms are facing the ceiling. Your shoulders away from the ears. Your arms are just resting down by your sides. Legs are long, lengthened out of the hips. Your abdominals are drawing in. And just really keep the lower back open just by pushing your sit bones towards your heels. So just feel the length, the openness in your lower back. So we need to maintain the stability and the safety of our back just by keeping the abdominals drawing in all the time here. Your toes should just be softly pointed, resting lightly on the mat. So when you're ready from here, breathe in. As you breathe out, we're just going to float the head and the chest and the arms away from the floor. Just turn your palms in to face each other, reaching through your fingertips, and try and draw your shoulder blades back and down as you lift. And then on your inhale, you're going to lower your upper body down. Again, the arms come all the way to the floor, palms to ceiling, just hovering your head off the floor. Exhaling, let's go again. Reach through your fingertips, lift the chest, lift the arms, not too high, but a little bit higher, maybe really active in your shoulders. And slowly breathing in, lower your arms, lower your upper body. Just try and keep your head hovering off the floor here. Try not to release it all the way down. Let's go again. Exhaling, lengthen, lift, reaching. And then slowly coming back down. And let's go again. Try not to engage your glutes too much. Try not to really fire them up. So really working the back of the body here, the postural muscles and the muscles down the side of your spine. Let's do one more like that. Lift and lengthen. Can you stay lifted in your upper body? Just put your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your elbows in towards each other, and just lower halfway down. So your upper chest is lifted off the floor, your shoulder blades are drawing down, your elbows are drawing in towards each other, your hands can rest on the mat underneath your shoulders. Stay here, breathe in as you just lengthen, lift your right leg away from the floor, reaching through your toes. Breathe in, lower it back down again. Your upper body's not moving, it's just slightly elevated. So just alternating, exhale, lift alternate legs, reaching through your toes. Feel the engagement in your glute, the opening of your hip as you lift and lower the leg. So just keep going like that. If you can, just do a few more repetitions. So really nice work for your hips, your glutes, your legs as well. Let's do 2 more of those each way. Stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands if you need to. Otherwise, just keep as much length as you can in your upper spine. Nearly there, 1 more each side. Lengthen, lift, reach through your toes, lower the leg back down. Push into your hands, come up onto your hands and knees, and pull your sit bones back towards your heels. Take a nice stretch there. You might get your sit bones on your heels, you might not. Just bring them as close as you can. So just getting that stretch into your lower spine. And as your arms are overhead, we're just getting a release across our shoulders and our chest as well. From there, onto your hands and knees, let's walk towards the bottom end of the mat. So we're going to work into our side waist again here. So getting a little bit of a rotation in the spine. So the obliques, your side waist muscles, are going to be active here, as well as your deep abdominals when we move on to the second level. So sit nice and tall. Heels, knees, and hip bones or sit bones should be in alignment. So our legs are hip distance apart, as they were when we were standing, making sure the shoulders directly over your hips. So from here, we're going to reach the arms forward, so they're shoulder distance apart. Keep your spine really long. Don't twist your spine first of all. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're just going to tuck the tailbone under, roll off your sit bones, C-curve your spine, just coming onto the back of your hips. Breathe in. As you breathe out, maintain your C-curve and rebuild your spine, sit really nice and tall at the top. Breathe in. As you tuck and roll, shoulders wide across your back. Keep your shoulders at the front, wide and open. Pull the abdominals in, come up. We're just going to do 1 more like that, and then we're just going to start to add in a little bit. So rolling back and reaching forward. So now this time we're going to sit really tall, and we're not going to roll back. We're just going to bend alternate elbows. So breathe in. As you breathe out, bend your left elbow, follow the arm with your eyes, and pull your left elbow as if you're trying to get your elbow on the wall behind you. So this is where our oblique muscles are coming in. Breathing in, reach the arm forward. Keep the spine straight, don't C-curve. Just pull the right elbow towards the wall behind you without leaning forwards or backwards. Let's do 1 more of those each way. So just follow the arm with your eyes as you're bending it, pulling it back, reaching forwards. And last time, pulling the right elbow back and reaching. So we're going to put those 2 together now, the half roll back with the drawing back of the elbows. It's like a bow and arrow. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tuck your tailbone and roll off your sit bones. And as you roll back, draw your left elbow back and down towards the mat, keeping it nice and close towards the side of your body. Breathing in, we're going to come back up and reach the arm forward. Breathing out, tuck and roll, and pull your right elbow back and down. You might get the elbow onto the mat, you might not, but really make sure you feel the side of the hip in your side waist really opening. Tuck and roll. Elbow draws back and down. And breathing in, use your abdominals to come back up, shoulders over hips, sit really tall. Can we keep going with that? If you don't like the roll back, do this with your spine straight, shoulders over your hips if you need to. If you don't want to get that flexion in your spine, if you've got any spinal issues, it might not be for you. Let's do 1 more like that, sit really tall last time with your right elbow bending and pulling back. And reach forward. Let's take a bit more of a challenge now. Stretch your legs away. Your soles of your feet are facing the wall in front of you, as if you're trying to get the soles of your feet on that wall. Legs are pinned together, arms up. So a little bit more challenging now with long legs, but we're not going to twist the spine. Breathe in. As you breathe out, abdomen scooping in, we're going to start to roll off the sit bones, and we're going to reach both of the arms wide to the sides, away from each other. Breathe in. As you breathe out this time, we're going to pull the arms in towards each other. We're going to restack the spine and sit really tall at the top. Breathe in. Let's go again. Tuck and roll. Keep your heels on the floor, arms open wide. Open your shoulders, open your chest. Pull your arms in and come back up. 1 more last time. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tuck and roll, and open your arms nice and wide. Breathe in. Use your exhale to pull your arms in. Sit really nice and tall at the top, float your arms up towards the ceiling, circle your arms wide to the side, bring your hands down by your sides and roll your shoulders. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different today. So we're going to do some hip rolls, but we're going to be propped up on our elbows. So come to seated. You can have the length of the mat behind you because we will be going down to lie on the mat. I've just turned to face the camera here. But if you can, just leaning backwards, come onto your forearms and have your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. So your forearms are resting on the mat with your fingertips facing forwards. So from here, lift your chest. So try not to allow your chest and your abdominals to sink towards the floor. Lift up nice and long in your spine. Try not to, don't let your head hang backwards. Either look slightly forwards or slightly up towards you. Make sure your neck feels safe here. If this isn't for you in this position, lie down on your back and you can do exactly the same thing lying on your back. If you're happy here, stay here. So let's pin the legs together. So glue the insides of your knees and your ankle bones together. Lift your heels off the floor and then slide your toes in towards your tailbone. So from here, when you're ready, try not to sink towards the floor. As you breathe in, just let your knees drop over to the left. So your right hip's lifting off the floor. Breathing out, bring your knees back through center. Breathing in, drop your knees over to the right. So your left hip lifts off the floor. Keep it small if you need to. You don't need to take the knees too far over to the side. So just like we're doing hip rolls, except we're rolling across our toes and we're propped up on our forearms. Let's add in, see how you get on. Breathing in, drop the knees over to the left, and then lift your toes off the floor and stretch your legs away, reaching through your toes. Your legs are pinned together. Breathing in, bend the knees, put the toes on the floor in line with your tailbone. Roll across your hips. Breathing in, as you breathe out, stretch your legs away again. Breathing in, bend the knees, toes on the floor. Breathing out, knees to ceiling, go the other side. Inhale. Exhale, stretch your legs away, engage your inner thighs. Inhale, toes on the floor in line with your tail. Exhaling, coming back up over to the other side and stretch your legs away again. Bend the knees, toes on the floor. I'm going to give you one last option. Lie down, remember, if you need to. Can we lift the feet off the floor? So you bring your legs to a tabletop position. I just turn this way now. So your legs are in tabletop. We're lifted, toes softly pointed, knees and feet pinned together. Breathe in, knees to the left. Exhaling, stretch your legs away. Bend the knees and bring the knees back up to that starting point. Inhale, knees to the right. Exhale, stretch your legs away, engage your inner thighs, bend the knees, pull them back in. Let's just do one more each way. Knees to the left, stretch your legs away, bend the knees, roll across your hips, and over to the right. Extend, bend, knees in, slowly lower yourselves all the way down onto the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest, give them a really big hug. Maybe just lift your tailbone off the floor so you can get a really nice stretch there into your lower back. From there, one at a time, let's put the feet back down on the floor. So now we're going to find our semi-supine neutral lying position. So if you want to, if you've got anything like a block or a cushion or a towel, only if you feel you need to, you can pop that underneath the back of your head, making sure that the head's not tipping backwards. Otherwise, you're just resting the base of your head, base of your skull even on the mat. So you've got that length in the back of the neck. Heels, knees, hip bones in alignment. So your legs are hip distance apart, but our legs are bent before we start. Making sure that your pelvis again isn't tipped or tilted, so you're in that neutral position of your pelvis. Abdominals are strong here. Just try and make sure that our bottom of the rib cage is softened down into the mat there. So we should be in a really nice neutral position, strong in the abdominals to keep the pelvis still and to keep the lower back safe. So just put your, from here, just let your arms go slightly on the mat down by your sides. Breathe in, as you breathe out, just slide your right heel along the floor, lengthen the right leg towards the bottom end of the mat. As you breathe in, can you lift that extended leg up towards the ceiling, toes pointing towards the ceiling,
And then as you breathe out, lower the legs slowly back down towards the floor without any arching of your lower back away from that. And then breathing in, slide it back in again. Then exhale, slide your left heel along the floor, reaching through your toes. Breathing in, sweep the leg right up over your hip, up towards the ceiling. Breathing out with control, lower the leg back down and slide it back in. Let's do that one more time. This is the basic level. Slide your right heel away. Lift the leg up, toes to ceiling, just hinging at the hip. Slowly lower the leg all the way down, sliding it back in. Last time, left leg, slide it away. Lift it, keeping it lengthened. Lower it down and slide the leg back in. So you can stay with that if you want to. Let's go up another level. So a bit more connection to your core. So pulling your belt in another notch, so to speak. Lift the feet off the floor one at a time. Bring both of your legs to tabletop, both of your knees over your hips, heels in line with your knees. Now, as you breathe in, straighten your right leg, toes to the ceiling. Keep the leg long. As you breathe out, lower your right leg slowly down towards the floor. You don't need to lower it all the way down if your lower back starts to arch. Breathing in, sweep the leg back right up towards the ceiling, and breathing out, bend the knee. Breathing in, lengthen your left leg, toes to ceiling. Breathing out, lower leg down towards the floor. Watch your back, it mustn't lift off the floor, the lower back. Lift it back up and bend the knee. So a little bit more challenging now. Inhale, exhale, lower the leg. You could always bend the knee and do a toe tap if you don't like lowering your legs straight down towards the floor. Let's go again. Left leg lengthen, lower, sweep it back up and bend. Let's do one more each side. Lift and lower. Sweep it gently back up, bend the knee last time. So we should always try and remember to do the same amount of repetitions each side. Lower it down, lift it up and bend the knee. Again, just bringing the knees in towards the chest, just taking that release in between these sequences, just to allow the lower back to open again and to release off around your glutes and around your hips. So now let's put the feet down on the floor again. Find your neutral line. So we're going to focus now on the upper abdominals as well as the deep core muscles, keeping us stable and just strengthening into the upper abs. So from here, just make sure you're in that neutral position again. We're just going to start off with our arms facing up towards the ceiling. If you've got, because I'm going to be doing curls, if you've got neck issues at all, you could always just cradle the back of your head in your hands with your fingers interlaced and just gently press the back of the head into the hands if you need support. If you can, so it's really good to strengthen your neck, as long as you keep the space in between your chin and your chest, as if you've got a little tangerine tucked in underneath there. That should keep your neck in a really good position, and it's good to strengthen the neck as well. Your head is heavy, so strengthening the neck muscles is not a bad thing to do unless you've got problems with your neck, maybe the vertebrae in your neck or whatever. So if you can, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, but try and make sure that you've really widened your shoulders across your back so the whole of your upper body is pinned to the mat just before you start. Again, focus on your core connection here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're just going to slowly pull the arms down towards the side of your hips and peel the head and the shoulders away from the mat. So your arms are just hovering, your fingertips are reaching forwards. Breathing in, we're just going to lower back down. Again, just bring the arms back up towards the ceiling, shoulders and your head down. Exhaling, scooping in, curling up, reaching forwards with your arms. And then breathing in, arms to ceiling, shoulders and your head go back down again. So you can stay with this if you want to. So nice mobility exercise through your upper spine, strengthening. Keep your pelvis in neutral. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, let's exhale. Let's lift the head and shoulders off the mat. Stay lifted and breathe in. Just float your arms up towards the ceiling again without lowering your head and your shoulders. And then breathing out, pull the arms back down in line with your hips. And now, as you breathe in, you lower back down. Exhale, arms to ceiling, sorry. Exhaling, curling up, pulling your arms down. hip height, stay lifted. Breathing in, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, pull them back down, and breathe in, lower back down. Let's do that again, arms to ceiling, curling up, pulling the arms down, stay lifted, arms up, pull the arms down, and lower back down again. Let's build on that. Let's lift the feet off the floor, legs to tabletop, knees over hips, heels in line with your knees. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling. You could just move the arms and not lift the head and shoulders off the floor if you become fatigued doing your curl-ups. See how you get on. Breathe in as you breathe exactly the same, but with the feet off the floor. Exhaling, bring the arms forward in line with your hips. Breathing in, arms to ceiling, head and shoulders lower. Scooping in. Imagine you're in a swimming pool and you're really having to pull your arms through really heavy water. Pressing down. So nice active arms here. Shall we add in? If you can, come with me just that extra little bit. So breathing out, peel your head and shoulders off the mat, pull your arms down in line with your hips, stay lifted. Breathing in, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, press your arms back down in line with your hips, and breathing in, release down. 2 more. Arms up, pull down, head and shoulders peel away. Stay lifted, arms up, pull the arms down, lower back down. One more last time. Start with your fingertips to the ceiling, curling up, look in between your thighs. Stay lifted only if you can. Arms reach up, arms pull down, head and shoulders come down. And then again, that little knee hug, that little release. Just take a little gentle rock there. From side to side, just release off your lower back. So, a lot of flexion in the hips there. Let's open up the hips. Let's work in a shoulder bridge now. So, lying down with your back of your head on the mat, not on a block, folded up towel cushion. The back of your head needs to be on the floor here or on your mat. So, heels nice and close to your sit bones. We are going to do it a little bit differently today. We'll do the one normal bridge and I'll change it a little bit. So, heels close enough to your sit bones that your knees are going to be over your ankles when you come up, but not so close that you've got pinching between your knees. So your heels are going to be about a hand distance away from your sit bones, making sure the knees and feet are still in line with your hip bones, still in neutral before we start, and cores nice and strong here. So let's breathe in. As you breathe out, tuck your tailbone under, flatten your lower back into the mat, squeeze your glutes and start to peel your spine away from the mat, coming onto your shoulders, but without hyperextending. So try not to flare the rib cage. And breathe in as you breathe out, coming slowly all the way back down, imprinting all the way, just getting as much movement in your spine as you can. So every vertebrae of every section of your spine, we're trying to mobilize. Let's go again. Exhaling, squeeze your glutes, slowly peeling your spine away from the mat. Can you stay here and just float your arms up towards the ceiling and towards the floor behind you? And then keep your arms where they are, exhaling slowly, roll all the way down out of your bridge. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, roll up into your bridge. At the same time, pull your arms up towards the ceiling and press them down towards the floor, towards the bottom end of the mat. Breathe in. As you breathe out, arms are going to come up towards the floor behind you this time, as you imprint your spine back down onto the mat. And go again, exhaling, peel away, strong in your glutes, pull your arms up, press them down, lift your hips only as high as you feel you can, but again, don't hyperextend. Breathe in, breathing out, slowly coming back down again as your arms go back. Next time, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, we're going to lift the heels off the floor as we peel the spine away from it. So breathe in. As you breathe out, start to tuck your tail under, same movement through your spine, lifting your heels away from the floor as you peel your spine away from it. So when you're in your bridge, your heels are off the floor. It's only an option. Breathe in. As you breathe it out, slowly lower your heels down towards the floor as you lower your spine vertebrae by vertebrae and your arms go back overhead. Exhaling to peel your heels off the floor, peel your spine off the floor. Pull your arms up and over. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly lowering the heels, slowly imprinting the spine as your arms go back. One more last time. So really nice work for the legs, the glutes, the spine, the core. So a lot of activity, especially when we're bringing our arms into it as well. Last time, push the heels down, imprint your spine, arms to ceiling, arms towards the floor behind you. Keep your arms where they are. Slide your heels away one at a time. Point your toes. Take a really good full body stretch. And breathe. So that should feel really nice, that stretch, that length that we can find. And then bring your arms up towards the ceiling and slowly lower your arms down by your sides. And then let's slide the feet in and find neutral again. So we're going to get some mobility and some work around the hips and the glutes now. I'm going to give you options. So we're going to do some knee circles. Set yourself up into neutral. You can put your head back onto your block or head support if you need to. So we're going to start with the right leg, but make sure you're in neutral before you start your course engaged. Just bring your right knee over your hip to a tabletop position. The option I'm going to give you is not to straighten your leg today. We're going to keep the knee bent, but we're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. So with your arms on the floor, that helps you stabilize. It helps you keep your body, your torso, your lower back, your pelvis completely still. A little bit more challenging if you take your arms away from the floor. So put your arms down anytime you need to. Again, make sure your shoulders are on the mat. They're not lifted off the floor. So your arms aren't going to move. They're going to stay exactly where they are. So is your upper body. All we're going to start to do is to circle the knee. So breathe in as you breathe out. Start to circle that right knee away from the midline of the body and breathe in as it comes across the midline of the body. Going really slowly. So just imagine you've got that pencil just sat on top of your right kneecap. Then you're just trying to draw smooth, round, even circles on the ceiling with that pencil. As slow as you can be. Maybe one circle is a whole out breath and an in breath. You don't need to make the circles too big. They might need to be really small, but you need to keep your hips, your pelvis completely still. So we're aiming to do 8. So I'm on my last one of 8 here. So the next time you come to the top of your last circle, breathe in as you breathe. Just circle the knee the other direction, still going round and round. Trying to keep your left knee completely still without pressing into your left foot. So just imagine you've got a glass of water full to the brim, sitting on top of your left kneecap. You don't want to spill a drop. So I'm on number 6 now. So I've just got 2 more to do in that second direction, keeping everything else really still. And then bring the right knee in towards your chest, give it a hug, and circle your ankle. A few circles one way and a few circles the other way. Put your right foot on the floor next to your left foot. Let's reset. Let's lift the left foot off the floor, bring your left leg to tabletop, either arms on the mat down by your side. If you felt that actually that wasn't for you, having your arms over your shoulders, if you felt really unstable, just keep your arms light on the mat down by your sides. Otherwise, arms float up towards the ceiling. Try and keep your foot fairly relaxed here. And let's go. Breathe in as you breathe out, circle that knee away from the midline of the body and breathe in as it comes across the midline. And keep going. So aim to do 8 each side, the same amount as we did on the other side, and as slowly as we did them on the other side. So now that glass of water has just hopped over onto your right kneecap, and your right foot is barely touching the floor. So all the stabilizing is done through your abdominals. Pull up your pelvic floor. And just do one more that way. Make sure you've done 8 or the same amount as you did on the other side. And let's do the same amount in the other direction, keeping everything else really still. So just feel the challenge of really stabilizing here. Really nice mobility exercise for our hips, our glutes, our legs, and challenging our balance too. Maybe you just got 2 more to do in that second direction. And when you've done your last of your 8, hug your knee in towards your chest, nice and close, and then circle around. A few circles in one direction, then the other direction. Just got time to come onto our sides and do some work side lying. So lie on one side or the other, slide your bottom arm away, lengthen the arm and rest your head on your bicep. You could always, if you need to, put a cushion or block or folded up towel in between your head and your arm. But make sure your neck feels supported, your head feels supported. So bend your knees, line your heels, your sit bones and your shoulders with the back side of the mat. Really feel lengthened in your spine. Push your top hip away, so stack your top hip over your bottom hip. So then we should find that little space arriving just underneath our sideways. Shoulders, hips, knees and ankles are all stacked. You can put your fingertips or your hand on the floor if you want a little bit of stability. Otherwise, hand on your hip or just lengthen your top arm so it slightly on top of your top hip there. And again, focus on using your core or lifting up your pelvic floor to stabilise. So breathe in. As you breathe out, all we're going to do is we're going to float the top leg away from the bottom leg. So your leg stays the same shape. We're just exhaling, we're lifting it. And we're inhaling it, lower it lightly back down. So your knees facing forwards all the time. Your leg stays parallel more or less to the floor. Lift and lower. And go again, exhale. So don't lift the leg too high. We're not trying to get any rotation in our hip like we would in a clam. So the knee stays more or less in line with the heel as we lift and lower. And keep going. So just feeling the weight of your leg, how heavy your leg is, and the effort we need to just lift it and to lower it. But don't let it rest. Keep it active, up and down. 2 more like that. Lift and lower. Last time. And now we're going to float the top knee again and top leg away from the bottom leg. Keep the heel in line with the knee. Breathing in, we're going to bring the knee in towards the chest, and breathing out, we're going to pull the knee behind the midline of the body. And coming in, so the shape of the leg stays the same again. Breathing in and breathing out. So you're flexing the hip. Now when you bring your knee forward, and we're extending into the hip, so just feel that opening to your hip as the knee goes behind. Keep going nice and slowly. So just nice work for our hips, glutes again, and our legs too. So maybe we've got 2 more to do. And last time, one more last little bit to do. Pull the knee behind the midline for that last time. Line your knees up again now. Extend your top leg away, reaching through the leg long out of your hip. Flex your foot, push through your heel. Breathe in. As you breathe out, glide the top leg forwards, keeping the leg long, point the toes, sweep it behind slightly again. Flexing and extending, but with a long leg. Exhale forward and inhale back. Keep going. Keeping the leg hip high all the time. So just imagine you're sliding your leg along a really smooth, shiny surface. Kicking forwards with the foot flexed and swooping it behind with the leg pointed. 3 more. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. 1 more last time. A big sweep of the leg forwards, then behind. Then bend your knee. Bring your knee forward to rest on the mat in front of your bottom leg. Switching off glutes, hips. Push yourself up. Let's come on to our other side. Let's do that. Again, on your other side, slide your bottom arm away. Head on bicep or on a cushion. Bend your knees, heels. Whoops. Heels, sit bones, shoulders in alignment. Feel you're really balanced both sides of the body. Find your mouse hole. Hips are stacked. Spine's nice and long. Everything's in alignment here. Cores engaged, or your pelvic floor's lifted nice and high. Breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to float the top leg away from the bottom leg again. And breathing in, lower it back down. So your knee and your heels stay in alignment all the time. Lift and lower. So don't take the knee too high. Just a small range of movement here, but just try and relax your foot. Just feel how heavy your leg is as you lift and lower it. Keep going. And maybe just do 2 more. And lift and lower. Now lift the top leg again to hip height. Keep the shape of the leg the same. Breathing in, knee to chest. And breathing out, the knee goes behind the midline of the body, extending into your hip. Forwards, breathing in, and breathing out, sweeping it behind. So your foot is relaxed with the knee bent, so we're not flexing and pointing the foot or the toes, we're just keeping the foot relaxed. Just bring the knee forwards without rocking too much through your torso. So try and keep your body nice and still. Nice smooth move. Let's do 2 more. And last time, the knee goes behind. Then align your knees up again and stretch your top leg away. Make it a little bit longer. Flex your foot, push through your heel, breathe in. As you breathe out, glide the leg forward, point the toe and sweep it behind. Not too far behind, but as far forward as you can without moving the spine. Flex and point. So articulating your foot, in other words, flexing the foot and pointing the toes, that really switches on muscles in our legs, in our calves, our hamstrings, our quads, our thighs. So, and it's also good for your ankles. 1 more. Forwards, 1 more behind. And then bend your knee. Allow your knee to rest lightly on the mat there in front of your bottom leg. Just release it off. Just allowing your hips and your glutes to just switch off just for a moment there. From there, nearly finished, let's come up onto our hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, nice and long in your spine. Before you start, breathe in. As you breathe out, let's come into a cat stretch. Tuck your tailbone under there, your spine, chin to chest. Breathing in, let's come into a cow pose. So tip your sit bones up towards the ceiling, dip the spine, lift your chest and look forwards. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Let's go again. Cat stretch, flexing the spine. And breathing in, cow pose, extending the spine. And just do 1 more of those each way. A nice smooth flowing movement both ways. Perfect. And then just lengthen your spine into neutral. From there, let's just come and do a couple of seated stretches. First of all, we'll just stretch the hamstrings quickly. So just sit with your legs long, toes to ceiling. Try and keep your legs straight. Push the soles of your feet forward towards the wall in front of you. So already feel that stretch in the back of the legs. Then sit nice and tall. Breathe in. As you breathe out, arms to ceiling. And then as you, on your next exhale, just fold over. Bring your arms, your chest, your head towards your legs. So feel a nice stretch into your lower back and all the way down the back of your legs. Breathe in. As you breathe out, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Relax your feet and take your arms down by your sides. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let's take a side bend. Left arm up and over. Breathe in, bring the arm down by your side. Exhaling your right arm up and over. So this is stretching your sideways now, which we work quite a bit today. We're doing our little twisty bits. Then roll your shoulders. Again, let's float the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. As you breathe out, fold over. This time, just point your toes very softly. Let your hands arrive on the front of your feet or your shins or your ankles. And then breathe in. As you breathe out, this time, draw the abdominals in. Just slide your hands slowly up the front of your legs, restacking your spine until your hands arrive at the hips, and then sit really nice and tall. Arms down by your sides, roll your shoulders. Give your legs a little bit of a jiggle and a shake just to release off. And thank you very much, all of you, for joining me